In this vodcast, I'm going to take you through how to do a free response for AP Psychology. The first thing I want to note is that I've given you two free response questions. One is in purple, one is in black. And they're going to represent the two different types of free response questions you may see. There is sometimes a third type, which we will get to later. For now, you just need to know these two types. Remember, I'm going fast, so I'm going to need you at times to put me on pause so you can stop and maybe read or take notes or whatever helps you learn this. Okay, so I'm going to take you through the first type of question. The first type of question, it was similar to what you saw on the Unit 2 free response. And that is a question, so we're here up in the purple, this is the first type. You'll be given a prompt. The prompt is here. Sometimes the prompt is a statement, or a description of an experiment. Sometimes it's a specific question. So we'll just refer to it in general as the prompt, okay? And then you'll get sections, and I'm just taking one section of what AP then wants you to do with the prompt, and that's this section here. So it's usually in the form of a question, but sometimes it's in the form of identify, okay? So kind of a statement. This is what we want you to do, a command. But sometimes it'll be a question as well. When you get something like that, as opposed to what you see below us, which is these bullet pointed terms. So when you get something like this, you do not have to define these terms. You just simply have to use this information to identify the independent variable and the experiment that they provided you, and then the dependent variable. You have to write in complete sentences, which means that the first letter of your first word of a sentence needs to be capitalized. If it's not, it's wrong. It does not mean that you cannot make a grammatical mistake. It just means that if the grammatical mistake is of the quality that the reader cannot understand what you are trying to say, then it is wrong. Also, the reader cannot assume anything of the respondent. You are the respondent. I can't complete your thoughts. I can't say, oh, he meant or she meant to say this. You have to be as explicit as possible. Okay? You have to clearly state your case. You can do this one in probably 2 sentences. The independent variable is of this study is the dependent variable of the is, right? And that's all. That would take care of that. So sometimes the question is more involved and would take more sentences than that. Okay, now the second type of question. Again, you'll be given a prompt, okay? And then you'll be given bullet point terms, okay? What I want you to do here is your first step would be to take one of these terms, and let's just take behaviorism. Again, you have to write incomplete sentences. You first define what behaviorism is. What is behaviorism, right? So this is a general description. But the second part, right, and you keep this in one paragraph, please. Each bullet point should get its own paragraph, complete sentences. The next one is you have to apply the term to the prompt, meaning you can't just speak about behaviorism in general. You have to say, well, what do they want me to do with behaviorism? Well, in this question, your friend Dave is basically saying our behavior is the result of our unconscious mind, and you have to evaluate Dave's claim using the following in their appropriate context. Well, evaluate means some of these perspectives might agree or support Dave's claim, and some of them might disagree with Dave's claim. So after you define what behaviorism is, you have to tell me why or how behaviorists would evaluate Dave's claim that the unconscious mind is basically responsible for most of our behavior. That's what you need to do. Okay, so that's taking you through the 2 basic types of free response questions. So we're going to have a part 2 of this where I'm actually going to provide you the answers, but what I'd like you to do is actually attempt to answer these free response questions. Use behaviorism. You can just start there, and then we'll give you a check on how well you did. Okay?